must be the old landing facility.
Indeed. According to the Vice President's horribly outdated schematics, the entrance is ahead.
Any signs of life?
Nothing larger than bacteria in the immediate vicinity.
Nice to have some good news for a change. Let's move.
The player starts on a landing pad with only one route open to them, a wide walkway strewn with boxes. This area teaches the player how to navigate the world using W, A, S and D. It also informs them about the dash mechanic, which they'll get the opportunity to use before the level is finished.
The main entrance is blocked.
At the end of the walkway, the player finds a door blocked by a force field. The player's AI companion, Shadow, announces he can disable the door using his internal batteries. Interacting with the force field disables it, granting access to the facility, but Shadow's batteries are now drained.
Let me access any data pads we find lying around.
Good to know.
Charge fully drained.
The player enters a maintenance area and receives a pop-up highlighting the UI. This is one of only 4 tutorial screens in the game, with all other mechanics explained through gameplay, cutscenes, or a mixture of both. This area is still linear but does provide a small amount of movement choice. As they come through, they learn about interacting with objects. A map terminal is placed here to test their understanding of interaction. If they interact with this, meta text will pop up around the map, pointing them towards data pads and shadow charge terminals. In the next hallway, the player gets choices about where they'd like to go. Down leads to an optional narrative pickup, while up continues the level. The player reaches the main concourse and a cutscene plays. This cutscene shows a second force field door and introduces shadow charge terminals. Finding 3 of these will recharge Shadow, allowing the player to disable this second force field. From here, the player can choose which direction they'd like to explore in, left or right. Exploring in either direction will lead them to a second shadow charge. Shadow charge terminals can be collected in any order. As they explore, they'll also find more data pads containing optional narrative. The right route leads to a shadow charge terminal on the upper floor of an admin area that overlooks the main concourse. A walkway here leads back to the main concourse to minimise backtracking.
2/3 charge. There should be one final terminal around here somewhere.
Back in the main concourse, heading left leads to a raised maintenance area. Following this path, they'll find another datapad and the final shadow charge terminal. These terminals are set up in such a way that no matter which order they're collected in, the correct voiceover will play.
That's it, I'm fully charged.
Let's go open that door.
Having collected this, the player can then drop back into an earlier hallway to minimise backtracking. Shadow is now fully charged and can open the second force field door, allowing the player to descend into the subterranean hallways. This area is linear, as we need more control over what the player can do in order to properly teach and test the dash mechanic. These hallways are populated by environmental lasers that the player must dash through to proceed unhurt. This teaches that dash provides a small amount of invincibility. Having successfully navigated the lasers, the player is rewarded with a health pickup, healing them to full if they were damaged. They can now progress to level 2.